Well, good morning, everybody. February 8th. Kind of early for us, but we're going to tap today. So we got the mule all loaded up. All the stuff's in the truck. Rissa's getting in. Justin's meeting us down there. We're going to do the winery today. We're going to hold off another couple weeks on doing the woods. We're supposed to get a cold spell next week. Everything's supposed to freeze up for at least a week. So we're going to hold off on that. But we want to get these taps in the woods because I think we're actually a little late. We've had a couple of, probably a good week's worth of really nice runs here. We were just afraid of the freeze up that's coming. So hopefully it won't last too long and screw us up too bad. So that's all for now.
There we go.
All right. So what we're doing here, loosen that up a little more. What we're doing is we're hooking our main line up to our pump. I put a union on it this year to just make it easier to take apart at the end of the season. We got a vacuum gauge here, so we know how much vacuum we're drawing here at the pump. And then we have another one up at the end of the main line, so we'll attach this probably to the wire here or something so we can see it. If you come around here, we got a diaphragm style pump, so these can run dry or frozen or whatever. So this plug here will get plugged into this, which comes up through to all of this happy stuff here. Got a buddy of mine that wired this up for me. Basically there's a temperature controller here that this sensor runs outside the box, and this pump, it's set so this pump will kick on at we have it come on at 33 degrees, and then on the low end when it hits 30 it will turn off. So we do have solar panels. We don't have them here yet. We got one. We had to order a second one. As you can see, we're kind of down in the woods here. Didn't have very good luck with the solar panels last year. Right up here on top of this little ridge, it opens up quite a bit, and the vineyard is actually on the other side of that ridge. So we're ordering 100 feet of wire, so we'll be able to run the wire up on the other side of the mule there, up on top of the ridge, and hopefully catch enough sun to keep the batteries going. Last year we had to change them basically every day we were running, so hopefully we'll be able to get away from that. So what we're going to do now is once we get things straightened out here, we're going to go up in the woods. You can see the laterals running off. We tightened them a couple weeks ago, and we'll go across the creek here and up the trail, and we'll start right up the top here with tapping and get things going. The first about 8 hours worth we're going to run onto the ground to flush out the lines from last year, and then everything after that will go in the tote. So we're supposed to be in the 50s today and tomorrow, and I think Saturday, and then supposed to start getting colder again. So we'll see what we get. All right, so we're up here, we're ready to do our first taps of the season, and I'll show you on this tree. So what we definitely want to avoid, there's an old tap hole. There's an old tap hole over here. It's probably last year's. So what we want to find, definitely want to avoid areas like this. that can create vacuum leaks even even below and above. There's not good wood, so you want to try to avoid that. So this is last year's tap hole. There's a tap hole here. So I think if we go over, about split the difference above and below a little bit. So I think we're going to aim for right here, and there's one on the other side of this tree. So we have a new tool this year, new to us. This is a precision tapper. So basically you just put it on the tree and it's kind of makes it foolproof. You get a perfect straight hole every time. So you just set it on the tree, get the drill going wide open, and then just in and out of the wood, full speed. There we go. So if you look, here comes the sap. So now what we'll do is we put what's called, this is the actual tap. So we put this in the hole. So you hear that sound change, and then you take, that's the stubby, and we put the stubby on here and just tap it in until you hear the sound change, and you should start seeing there's a sap, a little bit of sap coming into the line already. So once we get all these done, we'll create a vacuum, and that'll help move the sap along. There's the sap pooling up right there. So we'll get going here. So one thing I wanted to show you, these are these have check valves in them, they're called. That little ball there, so when the vacuum's on and the sap's flowing, that ball will move towards the back here and allow sap to come into the tap. And then at night, or when it freezes and the vacuum is drawn back into the tree, it'll pull that little ball forward and basically close off the tap hole. And what that does is it helps prevent bacteria from getting in the tap hole and closing the tap holes off early. So this is a good example of what I was talking about, what you want to try to avoid. There's a scar on this tree. Looks like maybe a limb at one point come off, but you can see the tree is weeping all by itself. So what we did is we installed the tap over here on the other side. You want to stay away from areas like this because that's going to create a vacuum leak. So while we're here, this is up at the top end. This is the very end of our main line. So there's our vacuum gauge up here. Once we get everything tapped, ideally there won't be any leaks, and we'll come up here and this gauge will be up somewhere between 15 and 20. So we'll have to see what happens. But if you look, you can see already we're starting to get some sap. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can kind of see the bubbles. Starting to get some sap coming through the lines already, so that's a good thing.